Oh, so satisfying. Oh, so freaking satisfying was this latest Wistoria episode. Dare I say it, this may be the best animated action of the season. I really think this could be the best action anime, which is saying a hell of a lot because if you know how highly I praise certain action series this year, I mean, even I feel a little dirty saying it, but the fact that I can clearly say this show isn't a fluke, it's not, there's been a couple of good animated action sequences because of, the amazing talent behind this. No, like, we are now 7 episodes in, and there has been multiple episodes that had this exact level of style, but this was clearly, bar none, the best that we've seen so far. To see Will sprint through that Coliseum and be able to keep up to speed with everything he was doing, the attacks, the dodges, the magical attacks, the combination of melee meets magic, and to just see not only the amazing attack animation, plenty of anime that are very well produced on the action side, they get the overall attacks done correctly, but something is usually forgotten. And I don't really think of it too much, but seeing what they did in this episode, I think what it is it's the expressiveness of the characters. I think Julius is a goddamn predator. I think if you go through his logs, he attended Diddy parties. I'm sorry, like his face gives me Stranger Danger vibes. But you can't deny he had some Joker level laughs and grins, and his expressions and how he was like throwing his body around as he was aggressively just whipping the icicle attacks and everything else at us, as our boy Will was clearly him. This was a perfect episode. Like, there's nothing I would change. The VAs went in, the art and animation went in, the storytelling went in, and I'm even gonna say it, I'm okay with Will losing. The thing is, if Julius would have won, or one of his damn teammates would have got up and grabbed it, I would have had an issue there. This Elven Bastard, I'm a little salty about, but at least it wasn't the dick of the classroom, like, I can allow this, but still a little salty, I'm not gonna lie. Now, of course, I do got those full live reactions over on Patreon. If you want to see my full link of thought to any of these Wistoria episodes, it's gonna be over there exclusively. So, Jesus. Like, they could have kept the production to what we've assumed the best the production could be from the first few episodes, and that would have been more than enough. But they made previous episodes look like they were holding back, similar to how Will's been holding back his entire school life. Collectively, the entire crowd now realizes that the kid they've been bullying and tormenting their whole life, or have, just kind of walked by and said, people are making fun of the no talent, who cares? That awkward moment when you realize the quiet kid could have been a school shooter this entire time. It's a damn good thing Will's such a good person, because honestly, with the amount of strength he has, he could have done very bad things to that school if he had anger issues. And seemingly the only thing that really gets his anger issues going is if you insult his girlfriend, which I have to admit, Alfaria is like literally the most adorable character. We get so many of these like overly obsessed like women characters who are like, oh yeah, that's my man, or he's all mine. And they have that like yandere psycho tendency to be like, no one can be near him. Not her. She's just overly like, why did you have to say that to the crowd? I didn't torment you with 10 of me. I just wanted you all to myself, as she blushes from embarrassment. Like, that's the sweetest freaking thing I've seen all week. Like, that's absolutely precious. But the thing that I love is that it feels like it's a combination of why our boy won. One of which, you're essentially trying to use magic that he's been training against his whole life. You can't use his girl's magic and think, a copycat is going to be as good as the real thing when he's been dealing with that his whole life. 2, he's naturally skilled himself, as we can see with what he does without magic. But number 3, the character he's going up against, way too egotistical, way too in his own head, and has a lot to learn and grow from. And the idea, which I didn't see this coming, initially when, because what happens is, like, there's a mist that pops up, and he times where each of the attacks are so that he knows where each of the positions are. Turns out they didn't move at all, and we get the whole doppelganger, which is actually his girl's spell, which apparently we learn later in the episode she created when she was 2, which is a hilarious own. This man thinking he's like, oh yeah, I'm her successor, bow down to me mortals. Turns out he's not even able to master a 2-year-old spell, which granted, that 2-year-old is literally built different, but when you're trying to declare you're better than her and going to surpass her and you can't even mimic her 2-year-old spell, boy, you got a long way to go, but I digress. But when he starts getting swarmed, it's so interesting because how is he going to deal with this, especially once he gets, like, engulfed in the ice? And I love the idea that it's his, like, cooldown moment for him, which is just so hilarious. But the fact that he wasn't using the spell all by himself because it would have been too strenuous. The fact that all 3 of them were using it together, so then he takes out his 2 lackeys, and all he's left is with himself. I love the fact that Julius was such a ruckus and just so in his own head, so pissed off. A giant man-child is the best way to put it. And the idea that once he realizes that not only is his attacks not working, my boy keeps insulting him. Like when he's like, do you think 4 was the best I could do? Have 8 of me. Of course, we know his summons aren't even, like, they're not even accurate, they're not in control, but he's just hoping if he just rapid fire attacks, then that's going to be enough. And then he pulls out the gem of, I'm used to fighting 10 when she used to bully me when we were kids. I love how she's not embarrassed that Will, like, has lovey-dovey and thinks of her in public. It's the fact that she doesn't want the public to think she bullied our boy Will, because she cares about Will so much and just wants him all to herself. Like, that's absolutely fantastic. And that, when that connects, this character is horrible. I hate Julius. And hate's a strong word, but, like, legitimately just a piece of garbage. I despise him with every fiber of my being. But I love what he does for an antagonist role. You gotta admit, though, the fact that my boy Will comes off of a heated fight in the forest to then go smack your ass in the Colosseum. I wonder if he didn't have to fight in the forest, if he would have had this, like, I don't know. I think because he still was able to move, he just was catching his breath. I think it just slipped his mind that he had to go grab the crown. It slipped my mind, but like I said, I'm glad it wasn't, we lost to, like, this scumbag. It's just like, who invited the elven dick over here, but is what it is. Definitely the best episode, best produced, and dare I say, best action anime of the year. I mean, there's a lot of good ones, don't get it twisted, but right now I think this is where I'm putting my money on. But let me know how you're feeling down below. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here. Of course, ring that bell, and like I mentioned, we got those full live reactions over on Patreon, and hey, while you're over there, I'll give you a video shout out. Alright, so today we got Harry Truscott, Furno19Z, Selkie, Pixel Caliber, Michael Latham, Sleeping Knight, Riptide, Valrix, Adam Dundorf, David Story, Travis Rains, Athmil, and we also have GG78CC. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care, and you all have a good one.